Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Afrina Syazwanie binti Muhammad ANUAR. Today I am going to present my final year project titled Ecological Assessment and Spatial Distribution of Invasive Plant Species in Disturbed and Abandoned Areas of Bandar Jengka, Pahang. This study explores how invasive species behave in disturbed environment and why understanding their spread is important for biodiversity management. Invasive plant species are one of the leading threats to biodiversity today. They spread rapidly, outcompete native plant and alter entire ecosystem. In areas that are abandoned or disturbed by human activities like construction or agriculture, these species often dominate. In Malaysia, this is especially relevant due to rapid development and land use change. Bandar Jengka in Pahang is a perfect example of semi-urban area undergoing land transformation with various disturbed sites like abandoned grassland, roadside and former recreational zones. This study was guided by three objectives. The first one is to assess the richness, diversity and evenness of selected invasive plant species. The second one is to map their spatial distribution using geospatial tools. And third, to examine how the level of site disturbance affect their dominance. I have conducted fieldwork in Bandar Jengka covering 27 sampling plots that represent disturbed and abandoned areas. The 5 species selected for this study were Acacia menium, Acacia auriculiformis, Imperata cylindrica, Penicetum polystation, and Paspalum urvile. For data analysis, I was used past software to calculate biodiversity indices like species richness, Shannon diversity, and evenness. Mapping and spatial analysis were done using Google My Maps and GIS tools to visualize where and how these species were distributed. Then the biodiversity of invasive species, I have used 3 indices. The first one is species richness, that is how many different species are present. The second one is Shannon diversity index, measures not only how many species but also how evenly their individuals are distributed. The last one is evenness, focus only on the balance of individuals between species. Acacia menium showed the highest richness and Shannon diversity, which meaning it was widespread and variably distributed across plots. Imperata cylindrica also had high diversity but only moderate evenness, indicate that it was more dominant than in some areas than others. Acacia auriculiformis had fewer occurrence but high evenness, suggests that stable presence in sites where it exists. Paspalum urvile had the lowest richness and diversity, possibly due to being a new or less competitive invader. The second part of the study looked at the spatial distribution. Using Google My Map, I have plotted the exact location of the species and found that they mostly clustered in areas with human disturbance. For example, Acacia menium will dominate at the abandoned construction site and old golf course zone, where the Penicetum polystation and Imperata cylindrica were heavily present in areas with exposed soil and open ground. These species often coexist, forming the layered invasion, which with trees in the canopy and grasses at the ground level. These maps help highlight invasion hotspots and areas at the risk for future spread. The third objective was to examine how disturbance influenced species dominance. The results were very clear. Higher disturbance level, such as bare soil, trash or construction debris, had more invasive species and higher abundance. At these sites, multiple species often coexist, forming the stratified invasive communities. Less disturbed plots had fewer invasion or signs of early colonizations. This confirmed that disturbance not only allows invasive species to establish, but also supports their long-term dominance. In conclusion, this study shows that invasive species like Acacia menium and Imperata cylindrica thrive in disturbed areas. Their ability to outcompete native species is especially strong when soil and vegetation are already damaged by human activities. The use of biodiversity indices help measure their ecological impact, while GIS mapping revealed their distribution patterns and hotspots. This finding can help guide local authorities, urban planners, and conservationists to identify, monitor, and manage areas at a high risk of invasion. Based on this research, I recommend early intervention in highly disturbed zones, such as abandoned construction sites and roadside areas. Species like Paspalum urvile, which are still limited in range, should be controlled early to prevent widespread invasion. Urban planning should also include invasive species risk assessment, especially in development zones. Lastly, community awareness and involvement in monitoring can greatly help manage and restore this ecosystem. That's all my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope this study contributes to better management of invasive plant species in Malaysia's semi-urban landscape. Assalamualaikum and have a great day.